No one has everything in life figured out, and anyone who says they do is lying. However, there are certain truths that, once you realize and accept them, make things a whole lot easier. Of course, actually getting to a place where you can acknowledge these realities is easier said than done, but if you possibly can, you'll level up in a multitude of ways. If you know and are cool with these things, congrats. You're incredibly strong-minded and intelligent to boot. Not everyone needs to like you. Realizing that universal popularity is both impossible and exhausting is like taking off a heavy backpack you didn't know you were wearing. You understand that even pizza, arguably the most loved food ever, has its critics. Once you grasp that someone's opinion of you is more about them than you, life gets a whole lot lighter. You can finally focus on the connections that actually matter, instead of trying to be everyone's cup of tea. Perfect timing doesn't exist. Getting that there's no magical perfect moment to start anything is like discovering a secret cheat code. You know those people waiting for all the stars to align before making a move. They're still waiting. You've figured out that good enough timing beats perfect timing every time. Starting something when you're ready-ish is better than waiting for conditions that might never come. Control is mostly an illusion. Accepting that you can't control everything is like finally getting the joke the universe has been telling all along. You understand that the only thing you truly have power over is your response to what life throws at you. That doesn't mean you give up on planning. You just stop treating unexpected plot twists like personal attacks. It's more about steering the boat than controlling the ocean. Discomfort leads to growth. Understanding that feeling uncomfortable usually means you're learning or growing is like discovering your personal cheat code for life. You've realized that those butterflies in your stomach aren't warning signals. They're growth indicators. Instead of avoiding what makes you nervous, you see it as a sign you're probably on the right track. That presentation that makes you sweaty? That's just your comfort zone doing some stretching exercises. Most people aren't thinking about you. Getting that most people are too focused on their own lives to scrutinize yours is incredibly freeing. Remember that embarrassing thing you did 3 years ago? You're probably the only one who does. Everyone else is too busy remembering their own awkward moments to catalog yours. Understanding this lets you live more freely and spend less time worrying about what anyone else might think. Your energy is a limited resource. Recognizing that your energy is like a phone battery that needs regular recharging changes how you approach life. You've learned to be selective about where you spend your emotional and mental energy. Not every argument needs your participation, not every drama needs your attention, and not every request deserves your time. Choosing where to invest your energy becomes as important as managing your money. Everything is temporary. Understanding that both good and bad phases pass makes you better at riding life's waves. You don't get too high during the good times or too low during the tough ones. You've learned to appreciate the good moments more because you know they won't last forever, and you can handle the rough patches better knowing they're not permanent. It's like having an emotional surfboard for life's ups and downs. Most decisions are reversible. Realizing that very few decisions are truly permanent helps you move forward without paralysis. You understand that choosing something doesn't usually mean being stuck with it forever. It makes decision-making less daunting and more experimental. You've learned that taking action, even if it's not the perfect choice, usually beats endless deliberation. Happiness isn't a destination. Getting that happiness isn't a permanent state you achieve, but rather moments you experience changes everything. You stop chasing the idea of, then I'll be happy, and start noticing the small joys in your current situation. It's like switching from waiting to arrive at a specific place to enjoying the scenic route along the way. Other people's success isn't your failure. Understanding that success isn't a limited resource means you can genuinely be happy when good things happen to other people. You know that someone else's promotion, relationship, or achievement doesn't take anything away from your potential. This mindset lets you learn from other people's successes instead of feeling threatened by them. It turns competitors into potential mentors. Being busy isn't the same as being productive. Recognizing that activity and achievement aren't always the same thing changes how you work. You understand that running around like a headless chicken doesn't necessarily mean you're getting anywhere. Having that level of insight helps you focus on results rather than just motion, leading to better use of your time and energy. Your past shapes but doesn't define you. Accepting that your history influences but doesn't determine your future is incredibly empowering. You understand that your past experiences are more like reference points than destiny markers. This lets you learn from your history without feeling bound by it. It's like having a GPS that shows where you've been but lets you choose where to go next. Most things aren't personal. Getting that most people's actions are about their own stuff, not you, saves tons of mental energy. That person who was rude to you? Probably having a rough day that has nothing to do with you. The friend who didn't text back? Likely juggling their own challenges. Understanding that lets you stop taking everything personally and respond with more perspective. Change is constant. Embracing that change is the only constant helps you stay adaptable and resilient. Instead of resisting changes, you've learned to roll with them and look for opportunities in new situations. You understand that getting comfortable with change is like developing a superpower for modern life. It's less about controlling change and more about surfing its waves.